What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
Okay, so we tested out Super Battle Road with the newly additions of Jiren and also the LR Vegeta Blue. So I want to switch things up and test out the Dokkan Awakened Ultra Instinct Goku and see how he does on Battle Road. Now, initially I thought about going with the Kid Gohan, but I mean that's pretty much what I do all the time, so I decided to switch things up a little bit and include the Super Saiyan Bardock instead. You know, honestly, the team is going to lose out on the key boost and also 40% toward attack and defense, but I don't know, it's just one of those things I do every time, so I kind of want to switch things up a little bit, so that's kind of why I replaced him. I mean, Bardock can definitely, you know, provide some benefits. I mean, he does have the ability to seal attacks, not quite to the level of, you know, beneficial in Kid Gohan's extent for the rest of the team, but you know, let's just see how that format goes instead. So I did go with a Gogeta lead and also chose the LR Vegito friend. I don't have LR Vegito, so unfortunately I couldn't, you know, have two of those on there, but you know, that's fine. It's 90% lead toward you know, intelligence types with LR Vegito. So Ultra Instinct Goku is definitely not going to be maximized in terms of, you know, HP, attack, and defense potential, but it's good to have this guy in Battle Road because he does defend very well. That's kind of why my friend's leader is that way. Alright, so that's pretty much the format. Like I said, just took a different approach for this one. Instead of including Kid Gohan, just went ahead and included Super Saiyan Bardock instead. And I really don't know how often Vegito's gonna transform, honestly, because you want to clear these battles as soon as possible, and you know, it does require you to go at least 6 turns until he does have the ability to transform, on top of your HP going below 50%. So in that sense, Ultra Instinct Goku definitely does have a much easier way of, you know, awakening or transforming. Like right now, you already see him at you know, mastered form. So I mean, depending on how you play it, if you can drop, you know, the HP down below 50% and just strategize and you know, make sure the defense is, you know, not too drastic, like in terms of reducing HP. I mean, you could easily get that transformation pretty often. So the other trick is to basically end the battle with HP less than 50% and then have, you know, the rotation coming up for the next battle where Ultra Instinct Goku is up. That way he'll transform immediately and you're good to go for the rest of that battle. So that's kind of, you know, another approach that I would recommend, I guess, in terms of maximizing this guy's effectiveness in Super Battle Road. So obviously my guy is, you know, the Goku really isn't to the level it needs to be. I don't have any dupe paths unlocked, so you're not going to see any levels toward criticals or additional attack, unfortunately. I do have a level 5 for dodge, but that's pretty much it. So the potential is definitely much higher than what this video suggests. I'm just not going to pursue it any longer. Like I don't really need to, you know, burn through so many stones just to get a dupe of this guy. He's good enough as it is. I mean, of course I'd like it to be better, but you know, I'm not going to chase him left and right. There's always going to be a better banner anyway. So you know, slowly moving there. As you can see, HP is 83,000, so much less than 50%. Let's see. I think I had it set up to where Ultra Instinct Goku will show up right off the bat. So yeah, you can see the immediate awakening into the mastered Ultra Instinct form. So that definitely does provide an advantage in making sure, you know, you end the battles with less than 50% in HP. I mean, you're free to recover HP as soon as the battle starts, as long as he awakens first. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to recover HP by 55% and reduce damage by 30%. So honestly, yeah, I mean, this is kind of pre-recorded, so I'm kind of commenting over that. I did screw up here, and I should have put Ultra Instinct Goku in the middle, linking up a little bit better with the Gogeta, but for some reason, it's like Super Battle Royale. Sometimes you don't think very clearly. You're kind of just trying to run through it as soon as possible and as fast as possible and trying to get through it. So, mistakes definitely happen. And yeah, I mean, I'm only human, so I tend to make mistakes also. But, as you can see here, yeah, right when that happened, I was like, damn it, I should have put him in the middle. He could have potentially dodged that. But, it's all good. I mean, he's not, the hardest hitter by any means. Like I said, he's nowhere close to full potential. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. But yeah, I felt a little better after that because he did get supered on and he was able to dodge that. So I felt a little bit better after that, I guess. I'm obviously going to put the Super Saiyan Bardock in the very beginning. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get a super to seal SA, but that'll be fine. I'd rather just him sacrifice an opportunity for a super versus the other two guys because, obviously LR Vegito for obvious reasons, but Super Saiyan 3 Bardock does get a pretty good boost toward defense once he gets a super attack off, so he'll be able to defend better. So slowly taking care of business here. And like I said, if I were to recommend one or over the other, I would certainly replace Bardock with Kid Gohan. I just decided to kind of randomly switch them out just because, this always been the setup I ran, so I just wanted to change things up a little bit, I guess. The 40% toward attack and defense plus the ki boost definitely does provide a pretty good advantage, and you could probably run through it a lot quicker than how I am right now because the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, the only advantage he provides is, sealing SA on the enemy, so that's a pretty big restriction compared to the overall team balance. So that's the only thing I have to say about that, I guess. And I'm really, in terms of Piccolo in this team, I'm not prioritizing his super attack. He's mainly there to defend. That's pretty much his sole purpose of this. And, if it means he's not going to be able to get an SA over anybody else, that's the way it is. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of additional attacks kick in, unfortunately, but that's how it goes, I guess. So let's see how often he dodges here. If I were to max him out, I'd probably go heavier on the critical side, give him some additional attack levels. I'm not sure if I'll put in any work toward evasion. Honestly, he has a built-in ability to, for a very high chance to dodge, so I'm not sure if that's really necessary at that point. I think it's more beneficial for him to hit a little bit harder. And yeah, I was thinking with Ultra Instinct Goku and LR Vegito, they could have finished off Frieza. That's why I put Bardock at the end. That was kind of a mistake on my end. Just kind of underestimating Frieza's HP a little bit, I guess. But he'll be finished off here, I'm sure. And we'll move on to the next battle. Again, HP is less than 50%, so immediately awakening into mastered form. So, yeah, as long as you can get it set up like that, you can start the battle immediately with the mastered Ultra Instinct Goku versus having to wait for the HP to drop back down. That's, one of the things I've focused on a little bit here. Now, it is a little bit riskier to do that, but with this type of team setup, it's not overly difficult to get that approach going. I mean, it makes things a little bit easier because he does have a very high chance to dodge. So, you know, immediately from the start of the battle, he's got that ability. So, you know, it's definitely the way to go. Now, here's a dilemma I'm going through. I want every single card here to get an SA because they can hit pretty well. So, unfortunately, that's not the case, and I don't want Vegeta toward the end where a lot of attacks are coming. So, unfortunately, I'll have to sacrifice Vegeta's SA here. I'd rather do that than get hit a lot more, or you know, lose out on a super attack for the other two guys. So we got a couple attacks coming here. Let's see how often he dodges. So that's 1, 2. And we'll see about this one. Yep. Yeah, so he dodged all attacks. That saves a lot in HP. I mean, even if that guy gets hit, he does take a pretty decent amount of damage. So, you know, the ability to dodge, you know, not only normal attacks, but also the supers, I mean, that saves a lot of HP. And that's why I think it's beneficial to start the battle with HP levels less than 50%, and then make sure Ultra Instinct Goku, you know, awakens immediately. That way, he's got a much better chance of dodging throughout the whole battle. And Super Saiyan 3 Bardock definitely does help the team overall. He's a pretty balanced character. You know, he has ability to hit pretty decent through his passive. He's got, or SA, he has a possibility of defending pretty well after a super attack, and then he provides 40% toward attack for super types once HP is less than 80%. So, you know, all that factors into a pretty good combination as a card for him. All right, most of the attacks are coming up at the beginning, so obvious pick is to, you know, put him at the beginning. So. Looks to be going into Dokkan mode also. I'm not sure, you know, with no dupe paths unlocked, Dokkan mode, I'm not sure how, you know, damage effective this Goku will be, but I think he'll at least KO Cooler here, and then probably take out the majority of HP for the rest of the minions. And, you know, Vegeta can certainly finish off whoever's left over, I think. So yeah, if he gets hit for 32,000 roughly. So it's a decent chunk of change. So it's definitely important for him to to dodge as much as possible. Now he'll probably take a little bit higher in damage with his normal Ultra Instinct form. So you know that factors in as to, you know, why it's beneficial to start off the battle right off the gate with the awakened form. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and finish these guys off. Fuck out of here, Naze. Alright, so last battle coming up. And of course it has to be Cell and the Cell Juniors. I mean, it's definitely a pain going against these guys, but you know, it certainly could be a lot worse. It seems like Cell Juniors have much less in HP than some of the different types of setups, even with 5 total enemies. I don't. It just comes across that way, but maybe not. I don't know. All right. Unfortunately, the HP was higher than 50%, so we didn't start this battle right off the bat with Mastered Ultra Instinct form, but you know, we'll go ahead and use an item. Not gonna recover here, just to kind of slowly deplete HP. I'm gonna put the Ultra Instinct Goku at the end, even though I could put others in there, but I think he has the highest defense out of the other two guys, so That's kind of the reasoning for that. And I do have pretty decent levels for evasion with this Gogeta, but I don't know, for some reason it doesn't kick in as much, you know what I mean? So I actually gave him level 12 additional attack and level 14 for evasion because he's effective against all types. So I figured it was more beneficial to have a more balanced approach with that guy. But you know, sometimes he dodges, sometimes he doesn't. I mean, that's just the way it is. Alright, took about 55,000 in damage and then 53,000, so HP is pretty much depleted. Definitely a little risky setup there, so I will have to recover here. But here's what I'm thinking. I want to keep the HP level down, and I use the Ghost Usher to have Ultra Instinct Goku come back around next rotation. But here's the thing, I forgot. In the last round, Ultra Instinct Goku he attacked at the very end, so he's not going to be coming up next. So that was the mistake I made here, was you know, getting confused that Goku would come back around the next round, and he would be able to transform immediately. Then I could recover HP. So in that sense, I probably would have done if I still had it, I probably would have used the Android 8 item here. Looking back on it in hindsight, that way, you know, recovered 70% in HP, defense would have went up by 50%. So I think by the end of that round and this round, HP would have probably been less than 50%, just enough for, you know, Ultra Instinct Goku to awaken. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, you make irrational decisions sometimes because you're trying to rush decision making and trying to clear it as fast as possible. So it happens. And here's the dilemma here. You got two attacks coming at the front and back. So, you know, initially, you know, I was struggling to make a decision on how to go about it, but I'd rather have Gogeta and Vegeta have their super attack versus sealing an SA by Bardock. It didn't provide enough benefit to sacrifice one of the other's super attacks. So, you know, that's the thing I keep saying is, in that sense, it's definitely beneficial to have Kid Gohan in this team setup. The key and attack and defense boost definitely does help the team overall. So, like I said, I just wanted to switch things up a little bit, make it a little bit more different. So that's kind of why I included Bardock instead. All right, so getting close to finishing up. So most of the attacks are coming up at the beginning, so we will put Goku there. And I'm going to go ahead and reduce damage taken by 40% here with the Whis item. Because if Goku gets hit, he can potentially get hit for at least 30,000 with the normal attack, and then much higher with the super attack. So I could definitely get KO'd potentially if he doesn't dodge. Now his rate of dodging is pretty high, but at the same time, there's always that risk that he could get supered on and he doesn't. So fortunately, in this case, he did dodge all attacks, so that did save quite a bit in HP. However, Piccolo does take pretty decent damage as well if he gets supered on. So, you know, there's always stuff you have to factor in and make sure, you know, you kind of make semi-right decisions, I guess, in a way. Alright, so getting close to finishing up here. Let's see how the setup should be. Bardock's, it makes sense to put Bardock in the middle because after his super attack, his defense does go up pretty high, so he'll be able to dodge better than the other two. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and seal the SA as well. I was hoping Gogeta would dodge a super there. Now it's down to the wire of, you know, how much HP is remaining. yeah, only have about 67,000 in HP left. It comes down to how much in damage he takes here. So it took about 30,000. So finally enough turns have went to where Vegito actually transforms. So I guess it was befitting to do that at the very end, but yeah, it didn't you know, I wasn't able to do that up until now because the team actually went through the battles fairly quickly to where he didn't have the opportunity to transform. But I guess it's fitting in a way to kind of let him transform into Vegito and then finish off the enemy. Alright, so that is pretty much it with this team setup. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.